Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, this fabulous brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we wanted to take a minute to go over 5 popular questions that we ask every customer that walks in the door as we're going through our fitting process. Look, when you're getting fitted, it's really important to understand your arch profile. Are you somebody who's got a high arch, a low arch, a medium arch, which way you're kind of rolling? But there's a lot of other important questions that we ask everybody before we even get into those arch questions. So I thought we'd take a minute to go through some important things that we ask our customers when they come in the door and that you should be asking the places that you go to get fitted. And if they're not asking these kind of questions, you should probably make sure that you interject this information into your fitting process to help the shoe fitter find the right shoe for you. And like just here at Run More, we have a lot of different styles of shoes. We have more shoes than we even have up on our wall here just because of space purposes, but sometimes it's kind of hard to make sure that we're pulling the right shoes without asking a lot of questions. So here are the questions that we ask people coming in the door. First and foremost, seems like a dumb one, are you running or walking? Seems like an easy one, right? But if you're running, I'm going to pull you more of a running shoe, like a Mizuno Wave Rider, a great everyday trainer. If you tell me you're somebody who's going to be out there just doing more walking, you have no interest in running, you're just somebody who likes to go out for a nice little exercise walk, then something like the Brooks Beast is something that's more apropos for you. So just right off the bat, are you a runner or are you a walker? Next, I always like to find out a little bit of injury history. And I'm not just talking about like, did you trip this morning on your run? I'm talking about, do you have plantar fasciitis? Do you have a history of back injury? What are your knees like? What are the common things that have been bugging you or maybe keeping you from being more active over the past couple of years? I want to know these kind of things. And if you don't ask me and it comes up later, I'm going to waggle my finger at you and say, why didn't you tell me to begin with? Because those things are important to me. If you come in and say like, I've been dealing with Morton's neuroma for a long time, I'm immediately finding a shoe that has a more rounded toe box. Or if you're dealing with Achilles injury, I'm looking for something with a higher drop. There are certain shoes that we carry based on injury needs. So if somebody comes in and says like, I have all kinds of problems and I've got plantar fasciitis and this and that, then I'm looking for a shoe with high stability to it. Something like a Brooks Glycerin GTS, where I know it has a pretty good heel. I know it's pretty stable. I know it fits wide. It's a great all-around shoe for somebody who's running with some bunch of injury histories. I try to incorporate some nice stability shoes into those fittings because most of the time, if you're somebody who's riddled with injuries, you probably need a little bit of stability in some fashion along the way. Next question I ask everybody is like, what are your goals with this shoe? If you're somebody who's coming in the door and they say, I'm looking for a running shoe, it's like, okay, you've just opened up Pandora's box. Are you trying to run your first 5K? Are you trying to run your first marathon? Are you trying to get into a walking program because you want to lose 10 pounds? Those things are important for us to figure out to get your shoes in. Maybe your goal is to find a shoe that's less than $100 that you can wear for a year because you don't care that much except you know you need shoes to help with pronation issues, but you don't care about actual running shoes or walking shoes. You just need health shoes. That's fine. That's totally fine. I just need to know what your expectations are before I pull shoes. And if you tell me you want to run an X marathon time, then I might pull a whole different shoe versus somebody who's just trying to run even a casual marathon. Like there's a lot of variance in that. So be honest and forthright with what information, like what are your goal intentions and purposes of this shoe? Next question I like to ask people is like, if you're going out on a perfect day, what's an average run? Not your shortest run, not your longest run. Don't tell me you run 20 miles a week, but every other run is 1 mile. Like what's an average run for you walking out the door or activity, walking, gym, whatever? Are you somebody who's going to go and do 20 minutes of cardio at the gym versus somebody doing 2 hours on the trail? Very different shoes. If you're somebody who just wants something light, bebop around town, a couple miles here or there, like something that's a little bit lower cushion, like a Ultra Escalante, fits like a slipper. It's a nice minimal sort of style shoe. This is a great shoe for that. If you tell me you're going to be running for a couple hours and really need something under protected underfoot for long mileage days for work or running, then something like a New Balance 1080 that's got a taller stack height, a little more protection underfoot, this is probably something along the lines that I would pull for you if you're doing a longer mileage. So the cushion level is really dictated a lot of times for us based on the conversations we're having. Oh, I like to do longer mileage stuff, so cushion's important for me. Great. Those type of questions, very important. Seems like a silly question, but where are you doing most of your training? If somebody tells me they do 100% in the gym versus 100% on the track, treadmill, road, a combination of, that really dictates what I'm looking for. So even little questions, if somebody says, yeah, I like to do some off-road stuff. Okay, great. Is your off-road stuff like a couple days a month versus a couple days a week? Because that changes. If you're somebody who's hitting the trails once or twice a month, That's great. I can pull you a shoe that's more of a hybrid trail shoe that you can do a lot of road in, but still do some casual trail stuff as opposed to somebody who's like, yeah, I do almost all my running on the trail. Great. You need a real trail shoe. You need something like a Lone Peak that's going to have like specific targeted ideas and key principles of this shoe that make it more of a trail shoe versus something you'd put on the road. So knowing the type of runner you are, I wouldn't pull this for you if you're somebody who's just running a treadmill. You know, there are certain shoes that we like as treadmill shoes versus road shoes versus trail shoes versus track shoes. So understanding the terrain that you're on really affects the type of shoe you're looking at. And the reason why that's important, specifically, like if you're somebody who does hit the trail 25 miles a week, some of the road shoes that we carry really just aren't designed for that. Some of that exposed foam or even the rubbers that they use on the outsole will get beaten up faster. So knowing where you run is really important, just as important as the type of running that you're doing and the distances that you're doing. So make sure you're very honest and forthright with the type of terrains and places that you're running at so that the fitter knows if you're more of a Lone Peak person versus a Challenger ATR, which is more of an all-encompassing hybrid type shoe. So anyway, I hope that helps. We got some great information out there on these shoes. Feel free to check out the link down below and visit our website. And if you enter promo code RUNMORE, that's RUNMOORE, you'll save 10% on any of these fine shoes and we'll ship them out for free. I hope this information was helpful to you. And if you find yourself in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop by Runmore and we'd be happy to give you a free fitting and help you find the right shoe for your needs. Happy running, hiking, trailing, gymming, all that good stuff out there, and hope to see you around town. Thanks so much for watching.